as a nation, as people, we can only go as far as we are filled. It's like ek gaadi. Agar petrol khatam ho gaya, to kahin nahi ja sakte hain. You have to be filled with chahe petrol ho, chahe diesel ho, jo jaruri hai. And it has to be the right kind. It has to be the unadulterated kind. It has to be the powerful kind. Then and then only will the car be able to move. So theek isi tarah se, all of the people of this nation, when we speak about all of the wonderful and visionary campaigns that our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has led over these many years, all of them depend upon the people of this nation being strong. Strong in mind, strong in heart, but also, most importantly, strong in the body. Able to get out of bed, khade hoke, seva karna, desh ke liye. So for that we need nutrition. Ab, aaj aapne Nari Shakti ke baare mein baat kiya. Why does she eat last, eat least? Mujhe yaad hai, जब मैं सबसे पहले भारत में आए, almost 25 साल पहले, जब हम लोग कोई कार्यक्रम में चले गए, चाहे भारत में, चाहे विदेश में, but amidst the Indian community, it was always the exact same pattern. We would come back from the event, and very first thing, all of the saints would eat their food. And all of the people of the house, the women also, the men also, would feed all of the saints and Mahatmas, the leaders, the speakers, whose program had happened. Uske baad, then the women would feed all of the men of the house. So it was like first Pungat was the saints, second Pungat was the men of the house. Then it would be the women who were guests and visitors who had come to help out. Feared last, jo nari jinki gar tha. And I remember so many times, because coming from America, it touched me so deeply. You would see ki from the morning, that woman would be in the kitchen. She would feed us breakfast in the morning before we went for the program. Then we would come back. She'd feed lunch. She'd feed everybody. Then, middle of the afternoon, 3, 4, 4:30, kabhi 5 baje, she would just be about to sit down and have her thali of food, jo thoda sa bacha hua tha, from all of the rest after feeding everybody. Thandi bhi ho gaya tha. But she had made her thali. And at that moment, somebody would knock on the doorbell would ring, somebody would come, santon ki darshan ke liye. And this woman would open the door and say to whoever was standing there, "Oh, perfect timing, maine abhi bhi aapki taali lagai." And I couldn't believe it. Coming from an American culture where people would say, "Acha, this is my food. If you're hungry, the refrigerator is there. Khol ke kuch le lo." That here was a woman jo subah se kuch khaya nahi tha. And now, rather than saying to this person, "Oh yes, welcome, no problem, aap idhar baton mein khana kha leti hoon," rather than that, she would say, "Abhi bhi aapki tali maine lagai." And it touched me so deeply. Abhi bhi 25 saal ke baad aankhon mein aansu aate, because it is this culture, this sanskriti, that actually is at the core so deeply, jab hum Bharati sanskriti ke baare mein baat karte hain, yahi sanskriti that feeds first and eats second. And the women of this culture are the ones who embody this. So first of all, I wanted to begin by just saying that this is not 100% in a box a bad thing. We will come in a moment to the problems it creates and how to address it. But I wanted just to begin by saying that it's not at the core that there is a problem with the women. It's actually apani nari shakti, who have been born and raised and swimming in and immersed in a culture that says pele khilao, fir khao. Pele de do, fir le lo. We are a culture that is always giving first and taking second. And the women of this culture are the main ones who embody that. And that is actually very beautiful, to the extent that there is more food always there, that there isn't a shortage, that it's not ki wo nahi khayegi. So to the extent that we can maintain that culture while also maintaining the health of our women, that would be the perfect balance. Now we come to the question of how do we bring about an empowerment? Because what's so essential, jo main ab 25 saal se dekh rahi hu, when we speak about women's empowerment and Nari Shakti, tragically, the women of this country think that being the ones to give, to serve, is a license to be oppressed, to be suppressed, to be a doormat, to be a punching bag, and it is not. Jab hamare shastra mein, our rishis, our sages, our saints, jab Nari Shakti ke baare mein baat karte hain, nobody is talking about allow yourself to be oppressed and suppressed, allow yourself to be abused, allow yourself to go hungry. No. Shakti matlab power. Now, one power, of course, is the divine power, that power of the mother goddess that is in all of us. But we are not only souls, we're also bodies. And those bodies also have brains. And through the brain, we experience the mind, we experience the emotion. And in the same way that for our spiritual Shakti, we need our prayers, our meditation, our puja. In the same way, for the Shakti of our body, we need that nutrition. In the same way, for the Shakti of our minds and our hearts, we need the empowerment. And this is where all of these programs and campaigns are so important. That taking care of my body is my dharma. This is not somehow lacking. Yehi Nari Shakti hai. Nari Shakti is the one who protects the family. But in order to protect the family, unme dam hona chahiye. If you look at nature, you look at, for me, my favorite example is the mother bear, right? Mother bear, if you come upon that mother bear with her children, she is the most dangerous animal in the forest, in the protection of her children. But that's only because unme dam hai. If she's sick, if she's weak, to kuch nahi kar payegi. So in the same way, we have to come together and help our women understand कि नारी शक्ति का मतलब नहीं है केवल आत्मा शक्ति. शरीर भी एक मंदिर है. शरीर के माध्यम से हम अपने धर्म, अपनी duty fulfill कर सकते हैं. If we are weak, if we are sick, we're not going to be able to fulfill our dharma. We're not going to be able to do anything. चाहे परिवार के लिए, चाहे समाज के लिए, चाहे देश के लिए, चाहे विश्व के लिए. So I'm so happy to see us all coming together for this Nutrition Week. And lastly, I wanted just to emphasize, jahan aapne shuru kiya, with our hygiene and our water. Because one of the things that we have seen in our Global Interfaith Wash Alliance, working for water and sanitation and hygiene, is one of the ways that our women are so weak, physically weak, mentally weak, and so sick, is due to one very simple thing: lack of proper use of toilets creates a situation in which women aren't staying hydrated, they're not drinking water, they're not eating properly, because उनको मालूम है कि यदि मैं पीऊंगी तो मुझे जाना पड़ेगा बाथरूम, अगर मैं खाऊंगी तो मुझे टॉयलेट जाना पड़ेगा, और मर्यादा की वजह से they're not going to go outside. And that's where the whole movement toward open defecation free, toward Swachh Bharat, that has been so successful is so important. Because when they don't have access to toilets, when our girls don't have access to toilets in schools, when they don't have access to menstrual hygiene education and menstrual health education, and they don't have access to toilets to take care of themselves or menstrual pads to take care of themselves, they don't go to school. When they don't go to school, so how can they be empowered? How can they be uplifted? Pehle shiksha to hona chahiye. And so this is where all of these threads must come together. It's not shiksha over here, swasth over here, swachhata over here. Well, sab, they go together. All of them together, weaving into one beautiful tapestry of empowered, healthy, strong women who are leading this country, maintaining that beautiful aspect of Nadi Shakti for the culture. But Nadi Shakti jisme sharir mein bhi Shakti ho, man mein bhi Shakti ho, dil mein bhi Shakti ho. And that she is giving that example to her daughters and to all of the girls and all of the women in the family, in the community, in the nation, of what a real empowered, healthy Nadi Shakti is.